So I got a crazy day today. One of those things where you're just doing all sorts of stuff all at the same time. I've got 3 cars to kind of move and maybe even 4 cars. So, just one of those crazy days at the shop where I just feel like I don't know if I'm coming or going. So I got this car, 365. I did a video before of it. It's basically came for a tune-up, but the last thing we wanted to add were just tires because we realized the tires were really old. So the customer just wanted to put a new set of tires. So I had to buy tires, take them, dismount the old ones, get the new ones mounted at a guy that I have locally that does that for me. And what I have to do today is I have to clean them. So just got to get that all done and mounted, and I could put this car back down on the floor and send that car out. I have this Lusso that I had it for me for a few months. It's ready to go. I fixed an oil leak. I fixed I put the new exhaust in it. I just did a whole bunch of stuff. It's ready to go. So I just got to clean this up. He's coming in a couple hours, so I just got to get and just wipe it down. I hate to send the car back dusty and dirty. It might look okay in video, but it's a little dusty. I've got this. The 911 is actually my sister's. That's here. I just had it detailed. Neat car. She's had this car since this is an 87, so it's pretty desirable air-cooled car. She bought this thing in 89, has had it for all those years. It's largely original paint. I think the rear quarter's been painted, but it's a nice car. It has 178,000 miles on it. I mean, we did the engine probably about 10,000 miles ago, maybe 5,000 miles ago. But man, I tell you, these 3.2 engines are pretty stout. Had that done, and she still drives it. I just had it detailed because it was, I'm not trying to throw shade on my sister, but she doesn't take as good care about the paint as she could, despite the fact that it's a 40-some-odd-year-old car. But the thing is, I had it done locally and just said, hey, listen, let me just get it polished. It was just getting too scratched up, micro scratches and things. So I had that detailed. It's ready to go. She's going to get it to her. I think I got to do some air conditioning work and figure out on these I guess they call them now G-body Porsches, but I'm going to try to figure out whether we can get the air conditioning working. But that's just a little side project that I'm working on. There's another crazy car, not a Ferrari, but it's an E-Type. So this E-Type is going out. I'm actually sending it. It's a friend of mine's car, and they asked me to help get it kind of going, and I stored it for them over the winter. And this car is just a decent driver, but at the same time, I don't really want to mess with it. I mean, it's a Series 1 or 1.5. It's a 4.2 E-Type. Nice roadster, but at the same time, it's got some choke issues. I think the choke cable is broken and not connected, and it's really hard to start, and drives well when it's running. But I just didn't want to deal with the cold start issues. I want to send it to somebody who actually knows these E-Types better than me, and it's one of these things where the amount of hours it takes for me to learn, it's better to just send it to an expert, have them fix it, and have it going on its way. So that's going out today. It's kind of trapped in here a little bit. That's why I have it on dollies in the back. But it's got to get loaded on a truck. So that's why I'm kind of hammering away to try to get this one done before the truck arrives to pick up the E-Type. The same truck is bringing a car in to that's coming back from paint. So that car is not on suspension, it's on a big chassis dolly. So I kind of have to clear out the shop. I think what we're going to do is swap that car and roll that into this space, because it'll live in that position for a while as I put it back together. So you're going to have to play a little bit of kind of like that little tile game. The Porsche's got to go out. I've got to figure out how to get. Maybe what I'll do is, once I get this 365 down on the ground, I could move the E-Type into the side over here. This 365 I could put outside because it'll be on its wheels. It starts, runs, drives. I could put that outside. I could put the Porsche outside. I could pull the 330 in, slide it into the hole of the E-Type, and then put the E-Type on the truck. E-Type, I could work on getting it started. It's just I don't want to wear out the starter just trying to get it started. So I'm trying to, it's probably going to end up being a dead car. So the E-Type doesn't really move. It's going to be winched into the truck. The truck's going to have his winch out anyway because he's got the dolly on the car on the dolly. So hopefully that'll work out as planned. The added benefit is that if I can get this car on the ground, I didn't get the tires until last night, but got the tires, so I'm working on the tires, get those down on the ground, and then that car will be out of the way. If worse comes to worse, I could always move the Lusso. Lusso's ready to go. So I have a separate truck coming to pick up the Lusso. So just everything all happening at the same time. Oh yeah, and I have a windshield that's arriving too today for this GTC that I've been waiting for months to get this windshield. So that guy is coming in. So yeah, one of those days that just nuts. And I'm working on it. So we'll see how this day goes. You can see how filthy, you know, the wheels can get from just putting all that mounting lubrication and stuff. So I just got to clean them off. Like I said, it's easier to do it while it's off of the car than when it's on the car. So let me get to work. This is why I hate wire wheels. As good as they look, cleaning them is such a pain in the butt. I mean, it's like they are really so many nooks and crannies. I mean, like I haven't really even touched the spokes. I'm trying to get most of the dirt off the spokes, but what happens with the wire wheels is that the dirt gets in the spokes, and you got to clean all those out too. So it really can be involved. I mean, I'm just doing a quick cleanup just so they don't look worse. They're going to look a little bit better than when they arrived, and certainly better with all the, you know, I had to clean them because of the tire mounting stuff, but, and then on top of it, I'll clean up some of this dirt that's been accumulating through the years. But it's a lot more time if I were to do it the right way, or rather the more thorough way. But I don't know if this customer necessarily needs that, because it's like one of those things is once you get a clean spot, you gotta clean the rest of the car. So we're gonna do it to this. It's gonna look better than it did, and send the car down because he's gonna drive it anyway. I went ahead and got the Jag started. With all the stuff that was going on today, I just couldn't deal with this not starting and then having to start it and or at least try to push it into the car. I mean pushing it into the truck. So I got it to the point where I can just turn it on and it'll fire up. It still doesn't run great, but at least it's running and I can get it onto the truck. A lot of crazy little things. The electric fan is hooked up permanently. I got that going on. Oil pressure reads way too high. It's not running really smoothly. So you know, that's on the list of all the stuff that needs to be fixed on this car. But at least I can get it loaded. Boy, I tell you, you guys with E-Types, Series 1 E-Types, I don't know how you get in and out of these things with the top up. I mean, I can't. I'm not that tall of a guy, but I tell you, these things are not easy to get in and out of with the top up. Very little space, and you know, it's kind of like a really funny thing. As I get in here, you know, and you put your foot in, you really have to bend down. I just don't like. Look at this. This is like, how do you get in and out of these things? Anyway, get this one loaded and we'll get it fixed and see what happens. But yeah, it's just funny how you get used to certain cars and you don't realize how tight they are to get in and out of. Anyway, E-Type's ready to go. I'm waiting for the truck to come and swap that one out. The 365, I just took that one out for a spin. Tires feel good. The only problem I have with it is it just pulls slightly to the left. The old tires that were on it didn't wear, or it didn't have any weird wear patterns. I checked the tire pressures just to make sure. It definitely drifts a little bit to the left. I'd rather it drift to the right, to the shoulder of the road, but not to the center of the line. So I just booked an alignment appointment for Monday, a couple days from now, or a few days from now, and we'll just get that checked out. it's probably not a bad idea with new tires. Might as well just check the alignment and get that going. I took it up to 100 and felt great. No vibrations. Everything felt nice and straight. So that's good. Wheel balance is good. So the next step is just to get the alignment done. So that's ready to go. Lusso is clean. I just cleaned it all off. That truck is on its way. He should be here in about 15 minutes. Get that loaded up, and we'll go from there. Yeah, this is almost sad to see it go. I have mixed opinions about the Lusso. I mean, it's always nice to have such a pretty car in the shop, but then it's also frightening to have, you know, such a high dollar car in the shop. So always the responsibility of having these cars is always on me, and when they're here, and it's nice to kind of let it go and let somebody else be responsible for it. I think the owner will enjoy it, and looking forward to hearing him drive the car. So that car should be loaded and ready to go in a little bit. The next challenge I have is I just got a call from my guy who's bringing the 330. The dolly that's on it has tiny little wheels on it, and he's not sure how well it's going to load out with us. So we're kind of we're going to see what happens. I mean, if he gets his trailer, I think if he backs it into here, we should be able to pull it out of there. I'm hoping, since I have the Lusso going out, and I could move the E-Type, out. The Lusso is going to be gone, so I have a lot of space in the shop that I can maneuver, and I might have to fire up my forklift just to get it so I could put a strap on the 330 on the dolly and just pull it into the shop, and then figure out how to maneuver it. You know, the problem with these dollies is that they feel fine when they're in a shop moving around, but when you put them in a truck and you're strapping them down, that's when it gets scary. So I'm hoping Chris won't have a problem with it getting here. We'll see what happens, but got our work cut out today once I get some of these cars loaded out, but we keep working on it. We'll see how this goes. All right, she's in. Boy, that was a struggle. What happens is, or what happened was, the dolly that this car was on, the wheels were small, and also, not to mention, it was getting caught in the E-tracks in Chris's truck. So Chris moves a lot of stuff for me and a bunch of other people in New York City area. I mean, you know, Chris is known by a lot of the guys moving all sorts of stuff. So it's not like he's unfamiliar with moving cars, but you know, every tow guy hates moving cars that aren't on wheels and being painted. And what happened was, he took a couple hours at the other shop loading it, with like 6 guys all on a hand on the car to keep it from touching as the wheels tried to kick out. And he called me while he was on his way over, and he's like, you know, we're going to have problems because we're going to need a couple hands, because just you and me are going to have problems doing this thing. So I got a couple guys over from next door, and they came over and helped, and I got the forklift fired up and towed it, pushed, pulled. You know, he had it on the on his winch, and then I had it on the strap for the forklift, and we just kind of pulled. I pulled, he released the cable, and we just slowly kind of kicked it back and forth as the wheels. I mean, I kind of forced it with the forklift to get these little dolly wheels over the E-track and all the clips and everything, and it bounced up and down, and finally got it close enough to the door. And then we had issues in trying to get the little wheels onto the ramp, you know, try to kick the ramp out. So we had to get you know, get it kind of, and it was just scary. At one point the dolly was going to walk right off the ramp. So eventually I figured it out that I could just jack up. We got one wheel down, or two, the front wheels down, and then basically jacked up the last bit of it, and then pivoted the ramps out of the way and set the thing on the ground. That really helped, and then just had to figure it out. But long story short, got the car off the dolly. Found out a couple problems that were fighting us. One of the wheels was locked, or it wasn't locked, but it was kind of jammed and wasn't turning, and it was rolling over one of the straps. So it was really quite a mess. And once I got it in position where this car is going to live for a little bit, got a lot of work ahead of me, but first thing I did was put it up on jack stands, because I want to get it off of that horrible dolly, because I think I'm just going to be working around that dolly the whole time. Got it on jack stands so that at least the car is up in the air and I can get around it. First things first, I'm going to unwrap all the stuff that's been taped up. The harness, the wiring harness has been taped up, and some of it's going to be reused, some of it's going to be cleaned, and some of it is going to be replaced. I just need to clean it up and assess it. I don't remember the harness being that bad. I think it was in pretty decent shape, but I'll know more once I start getting into it, unwrapping. There's a couple little bright trim pieces that we used when we painted the car, so we'll be going and inspecting all of that stuff. You know, as you've seen, I've started some of the work as far as cleaning suspension pieces and getting things painted. So I have some pieces that are ready to go back on, but the rest of the car is just, it's a process, and I'm going to start with it. But for right now, it's in the shop, and it's here, and it's ready to you know, to go and start putting it all back together. I'm sure you'll be seeing plenty of updates on this car. Well, the last bit of today was to just unload that glass that I was coming in from FedEx Freight, and use my forklift just to be careful. I mean, it wasn't that heavy of a box, but I didn't need to jar it or drop it or anything like that. So I fired up the forklift one more time and got it out of my pickup truck after unloading it from the semi. It's a little bit of a step, but I don't have a loading bay, so it just had to be done that way. Thanks for watching. See you next week.